We have on this stage people who have had the green fiber way before it became fashionable. And I'm going to start with Henrik on my left over there. From very early on, you started building an event, a festival, and try to be as eco-friendly as possible. That was part of the philosophy from the start, or how did it happen?
In, I think it was 1994, we discussed it in the festival committee, and we said we couldn't afford not to. We had lots of garbage, we still have, but we had to try to find out how to collect garbage, how to let the people collect garbage. And we started to make the deposit on our cups very successfully. I think today we are having about 90-95% of the cups back. We made deposit on glass, even though it was broken. Didn't matter, we need to get it back. On bottles that we didn't sell on the festival. So I think we can't afford not to. It costs us a lot of money, but it's a way of helping.
One of the things that can make it work is if the audience is working alongside with you and in the same direction. Was it difficult to get the audience reacting favorably to all the pleas that you were making, please bring the cups back, etc., or was it also something that came from the audience?
It came from the audience, I would say. We've got the best audience in the world, I think. They know.
Every festival says that,
It's the same. They say it's the same audience at Paléo. I know. I've been there. But no, I think it's young people. They know they have to take care. I think that's the main reason why they do it. But if you're doing it the Big Brother way, it doesn't work. So they need to be part of the work.
Mm-hmm. Danielle, same question. When did you start being concerned by environment issues?
At the start of the festival, it was in 1976, we were in the folk mood. And that means we were sensible to humanism and nature. But it was not the same than today. And 10 or 12 years ago, we thought it was time to be more responsible about environment. And we had at that time environmental commission to try to help us how it's possible to reduce the amount of waste, how it's possible to reduce energy consumption, and what we can do to have a more waste recycled. And we saw that the audience is very sensitive about that topic, and we make a survey, and the survey told us everybody is okay to help us, everybody is okay to do more, and all the spectators were thinking Paléo have to do more.
The festival doesn't get any subsidies from the local government and so on. Do you get any help, or should you get any help from the local government to have a cleaner, greener event? Or is it really upon the responsibility of every event organizer to do that?
No, but we have the opportunity and the chance to have 4,000 volunteers. And it's like the same spirit than in Roskilde. And Paléo is an example to show that it's possible, it's financially possible to have a festival with values and green attitude. And in Switzerland it's possible without contribution and support by authorities.
Glastonbury, when it started in 1971, I think the entrance fee was £2 or £3, and they gave a pint of milk, which was a kind of eco-friendly gesture. Is there anything today you give in your festival to the audience in terms of booklets about the environment? Is there any special communication that you have towards the audience?
We're using the program for that. Every audience get a program when they arrive. And we tell them, for instance, if they turn off the standby on their television at home, they can save as much power that we are using on the entire festival.
Danielle, any special communication to the audience? Messages you get across?
Yes, I think the philosophy of our communication is to consider our spectators like adults and not like children. So we avoid to moralizing our communication, and we try to speak to them just to be aware of a green attitude. And until now, it's very good like that, I think.
Communication awareness, Kevin, that's what your event was about. And so there are two aspects. One is the message that you want to get across through the event. And secondly, how could you make the event eco-friendly? Overall, do you think that you managed to get an eco-friendly event?
Yeah. I mean, our event, different from these two events, was specifically about green, and it was about to create a global tentpole event for over 120 NGO environmental organizations around the world to get in a lockstep on a message that would lead to these new treaty negotiations. So we took a lot of heat when an artist would fly in privately, or the types of cars that they drove, or photographers would, stand outside my house and go through my garbage, and all sorts of stuff that you wouldn't go through at Roskilde or whatever, because they, if a band flew from our event to Roskilde privately, no one gave the band a hard time, because it's not a green festival; it's a festival that's becoming green, and so that's very good. So but overall, we worked hard to book acts that were already on tour. We worked hard to book acts that were already touring in the area that they played in the stadium, so we could reduce costs. And contrary to all press announcements, we were no more than 40% of the best case that they thought in terms of our carbon output. We worked very hard in 9 different locations around the world, all in the same day. So we had stadiums around the world where we had huge crews of people that we had to employ with messaging, training programs for the stadiums themselves, for the part-time employees, and listing all these NGOs. It was a massive effort. And I think in the end, we did something that was very unique, and it was very challenging, and we were able to reduce our footprint along with getting the message out.
Yeah, there's the Live Earth Carbon Assessment and Footprint Report. It's a pretty good green card, I must say. Did it surprise you that actually you did that well?
It did. When we started out doing Live Earth, I really came about it from being a producer of these big events. With Harvey, we produced Live 8 2 years prior. And, we really have an expertise on developing the television architecture, the media architecture around the world, and booking acts and really televising and putting these sort of one-day global event festivals together. I didn't anticipate that we were also going to have to be the greening organization. I really thought that the NGOs and the charities in the local markets would actually help us on all the messaging and the greening of the events. And it turned out that those organizations don't really have infrastructures to do any of this. And I'm sure that these two have found that most of what they have done, they've developed internally. I mean, environmental organizations have probably been helpful, but it's largely what they've done as an effort with then volunteers, people that got passionate. We found the same. So to have a green card like this, where we're just producers, and we ended up having to go bottom to top on messaging and on greening of the stadiums, I'm unbelievably happy. And more importantly, Al Gore was happy, and that's what motivated me to do this in the beginning.
So that was a one-off. What's the follow-up to Live Earth? Do you have things planned, things in the pipeline? Are you going to be working on more events of this kind, or?
So yes, we're gonna continue two events through 2010. Not global events. They're going to be regionalized and around very specific issues. And you're going to see Live Earth in their events become a little more policy oriented, a little more activism. We feel that the new treaty negotiations, which go on their way to Copenhagen, started in Bali, must get negotiated and ratified within the next 2 years. And we feel strongly, and we're going to support that initiative, and we're going to support any festival or any artist or any other events that might happen around that initiative, along with doing our own strategic events.